He said, keep your hands on the wheel and your eyes on the road. And don't worry about the things, my child, you cannot control. If you're looking behind, you might not see what's up ahead. Just do the things you know and trust God with the rest. How many can relate to the verse of that song right there? They scare me to death sometimes. Ever since the day that I got saved, I've been running from the past I made, and the devil tries to run over me. And then I look ahead, and to my dismay, it's a whole lot more than I want to face. I pray to the Lord, what should I do? He said, take your hands off the wheel and give God full control. And don't worry about a thing, my child, He already knows. If you're looking behind, you might not see what's up ahead. Just do the things you know and trust God with the rest. Take your hands off the wheel and give God full control. And don't worry about a thing, my child, He already knows. If you're looking behind, you might not see what's up ahead. Just do the things you know and trust God with the rest. Take your hands off the wheel and give God full control. And don't worry about a thing, my child, He already knows. If you're looking behind, you might not see what's up ahead. Just do the things you know and trust God with the rest. Just do the things you know and trust God with the rest. Amen. I wrote that song going down. We were going through Alabama, and we were heading through Birmingham, Alabama when I was finishing up the song. And inspired by some of the ideas and actually something that Autumn had said to me. She had got her driver's permit, and of course she wanted to get behind the wheel, as soon as possible. And she had asked me this question. She said, Daddy, what do I do about the people behind me? And I said, well, honey, there's not a whole lot you can do about the people behind you. Now, and I have a tendency to kind of look in all of my mirrors, and we were coming down this great big old hill. It was a mountain over in Kentucky, I think it was. And you come around a curve, and then it's a pretty steep, I think it's a 7% or 7 degree, whatever they call that, And so when we come around this curve, the traffic had stopped. I mean, there was probably a couple hundred yards after the curve, but that's not a lot of time to stop. And here we was stopping. Everybody in front of us had stopped. And there was a big old drop-off over there beside of us. It was on a mountain. And it just, I don't know how many hundreds of yards it fell off there. And there was a tractor trailer right in front of me. And then there was another lane of traffic. And we come to a stop, and I'm going to tell you, I looked in the rearview mirror. I wanted to see what was going to be coming up behind me, and I looked in my sides, and I'd already figured out what was in front of me and what was on the side of me, and I had the chance. But we don't always have the chance to pay attention to what's coming up behind us. And we got to trust God with it. But that particular day, I had the chance. And my kids, they wasn't paying no attention. My wife wasn't paying no attention, but I was. I looked in that rearview mirror, and there was an 18-wheeler coming down that hill. And he come around that curve, and he did like we did. It just happened all of a sudden. So I heard the brakes, and I heard him locking that thing up. There was over there on the side of the road, the shoulder of the road, it was real narrow, but I took off on the shoulder of the road, and there was that guardrail, and it was just inches from the door there. And they started saying, "What's going on?" I said, "Have y'all seen what's coming up behind us?" Woo! But a lot of times we have to put things that we don't have any control over into the hands of an almighty God.
Right.
And I'm thankful.
That's right.
Amen. Well,
Hallelujah.
my name's Eric Isbell. I'm originally from Lawrenceburg, Tennessee. Who was I talking to that know? Oh, yeah, Brother Mark. He was saying, you've been in Lawrenceburg.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, that was interesting. He said he remembered being in Lawrenceburg. That's where I was born and raised, so he knows where that's at. I don't know. I didn't come from Lawrenceburg to get up here. What is it, about 8-9 hours maybe to get a pretty good little piece? That was where I was born and raised, and when I did my courting, I drove an hour and a half to visit this lovely young lady right here. Only took me 6 weeks to talk her into marrying me. Our first date was on Christmas Eve, and I asked her to marry me on Valentine's Day of 1997. We got married in November of 97, and so in November of this year, we'll be married 22 years. You glad to have my lovely wife, Rachel?
All right.
This lovely young lady right here, over the next hour or so, you'll see how talented she is singing and playing. She's learning the guitar, mandolin, ukulele, and the piano. Piano's her favorite instrument. She's written 22 songs. She wrote the first song when she was only 9 years old.
Wow.
It was recorded. She wrote 2 when she was 10, and now she's written 22. Me and her have co-written a couple of songs together. She'll write songs, she'll write the lyrics. A lot of times her brother will write or he'll come up with a tune that she writes lyrics to, and they kind of work together a little bit on that. Autumn, in the last 2 years, she's been nominated for favorite female soloist, vocalist, favorite female vocalist, and favorite, not a soloist because you sang with us in there, and favorite young artist for the Singing News Fan Award. She did not win, but me and Mama think she should. She's 17 years old. She's a senior in high school this year. You're glad to have Autumn Grace with you this morning.
Yeah.
You want to hold my hand? Relax too. It just feels natural that you should hold my hand. They said now they wanted to know what kind of stories I was going to tell today, and I promised them I wouldn't tell no stories. But I got some good ones on this one right here. He keeps life interesting. Caleb does a great job singing. I was telling somebody earlier, we're going to have to add another wireless. This is actually his mama's, and she's giving it to him, so I guess we'll have to get her one. Because just about 1.5 2 years ago, he only sang once or twice, and now he's singing all the time with us. So we're going to get him one of his very own. He can give that one back to his mom. Caleb is a sophomore this year in high school. He's 15 years old. Y'all glad to have Caleb here?